G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, another tier list maker video. Very excited to jump in and do this one. I will be off to Magic Round tonight. Cannot wait, and I hope to see some of you guys there. Let me know down in the comments if you are attending Magic Round and if you're excited for the footy. Also, let me know how many days you're going for. I'll be there all 3. And if you guys want to come up and say hi, do not be shy. I'm happy to say hi to you. All right, so today what we're doing, I'm sure you can see what we're doing, but I'm going to be ranking teams on basically, in everything. So, like, obviously, you could probably say the Panthers are a premiership threat. The Roosters are likely a top 8 side. Eels could be a top 8 side, and better luck next year, right? Maybe we'll have a look. We'll discuss it team by team, but that's basically what we're looking at today. Now, we're doing this after round 9, obviously before round 10. The next time I do this will be round 18. So we're going to do this every 9 rounds because then we will it will end at the end of the year. Round 27, the last round of the year. So we'll then talk about finals footy and stuff like that. That'll be where we go from there. But this will come out in another 9 weeks, and we will do that for round 18 as well. So without further ado, I guess we'll jump into it, guys. But if you could leave me a like and subscribe, it really helps the growth of the channel. And let's jump in and check out how I think these will all go. Starting with the Titans. Look, I think the Titans could be a top 8 side. I think they will fight for the top 8. I think this competition is just way too tight at the moment. They will definitely be between that probably 7th to 12th ranking. I can't see them higher than that. I've pretty well got my top 6 locked in. But I definitely can see the Titans being a top 8 side, 100%. Dolphins, same tier as the Titans. I definitely think they could be a top 8 side. I doubt they will be. I do think that they will get hit with a reality check later on in the season. But credit to them for where they are at the moment. They're playing some pretty good footy. Wayne Bennett, man, shout out to him. What a start of the season he's had. But yeah, Dolphins, they've impressed me so far this year. I do think that they could potentially fight for a top 8 side, but I don't see them getting there. Tigers, obviously better luck next year. I don't see them making the top 8. I really don't, unless they start putting it together now. I just think what they need to do is build some chemistry, get some combinations going, lock in what their spine's going to be. Like if they're happy to go Buller, I probably would be looking to move on from Brooks. So I'd probably go Buller. Obviously, you got Dewey out, so it is a bit hard. You could run. I'm not too sure, really. But I'd be locking in their spine now and just building for the future with that. Roosters, I definitely think are still a premiership threat. But they're slowly sliding down to likely a top 8 side for me. It's hard for me not because I had the Panthers and the Roosters in the grand final, so I still believe that they're going to be a premiership threat this year. In saying that, you just never know. They've had a pretty average start to the season. I don't think they've been great. So I'm going to lock them into a likely top 8 side. Like, I don't disagree that they will be a top 8 side. I think they'll be around that 6-1 mark. But I actually can't rank them any higher than that at the moment. I think I only want to put 4 teams in this bracket, and I've kind of got the 4 teams in my mind of who I think is. Now, you know what? I think, look, I'm going to lock it in now. I think the Roosters are a premiership threat. Yeah, I'm locking it in. I've got to lock it in. It's just, I can't go. As much as I'd love to say the Roosters won't win a premiership, I just don't know. They're probably going to put it all together late in the season, make a run, make the top 4, and make the grand final. Let's be honest. So I'd like to put them lower. I just can't. Eels, I'm going to they could be a top 8 side. I don't think that's a lock for them. I really don't. I honestly do not think that is a lock for them. I think that there are teams that are better than them. And I think some of those teams that I put in likely a top 8 side will surprise you. But for now, I can't put the Eels in top 8. Look, they are a quality football side, but they just haven't been great this year. They haven't. So I'm going to put them in, could be a top 8 side. Sharkies, for me, are a premiership threat 100%, especially if Nico Hines stays healthy. Dally M medalist last year. He's looked amazing this year. He's bringing out the best in Matt Moylan and Will Kennedy as well. So I think that the Sharks are definitely a premiership threat. St. George, for me, better luck next year. I think Hook will get the hook this year. And I don't see the Dragons doing anything more this season. That's pretty much all I've got to say. Rebuild for the future, guys. Rebuild for the future. Bunnies, 100% a premiership threat. We are cooking at the moment. We're looking really good. I think we're looking amazing. And I do think that we are a premiership threat, 100%. Another team that could potentially be a top 8 side is the Knights, in my opinion. I honestly think that if they get their stuff together, I was going to swear, but I didn't. If they get their stuff together and they start looking good, I think they can be a premiership threat. That game against the Panthers was outstanding. And if they can play that level of football, sorry, not premiership threat. That I don't know why I said that. Could contend for a top 8 spot. I do think they could. Knights fans, you're probably going to love me for saying that. Everybody else in the NRL, you're probably going to think I'm a dickhead. But at the end of the day, I'm sticking by this. I think this is a good take, especially if they can work out what's going on with Kalen Ponga. My personal opinion is play him off the bench this year. Just get him on when the forwards on the opposition are tired. Get him on in the middle. Get him to have a bit of a run around. Move him back to fullback on defense. Bring up Lockie Miller in the middle to help defend there. I think that could work. But I can't see him as I can't see him starting this year unless you're going to play him at fullback fully. I don't know what they're going to do with Lockie Miller, but I think the Knights can work it out. I really do. Like, I had the Knights as my wooden spooners, so I think they can work this out. But yeah, I think they can make the top 8. I really do. Storm, for me, are a top 8. They're a top 8 side. They're 100% a top 8 side, but I don't see them as a premiership threat. I don't, unfortunately. Manly are a team I think that could make the top 8. If we're going to rank them, look, probably slightly. No, I'm going to put them there. I'm happy to put them there. I think this is definitely. I think this is definitely a year that Manly could fight for the top 8. I think I don't even know who I ranked now. I've mixed it all up. I'm buggered if I know. So we'll talk about Manly, then we'll talk about Storm. Let's go like that. So I think Manly can fight for a top 8 spot, but it's just if Turbo's out, if he's not playing every game, I think they will struggle. He's shown that even when he plays injured, they struggle. So I can't see Manly doing too much this year. I really can't, but they definitely could make the top 8. Likely top 8 side, I've got Storm. Storm definitely could be in the premiership threat window, but I want to leave that for 4 teams. I think Storm have done really well this season, to be honest, with losing the amount of experience they did, bringing in some young guys, developing some of their youth. I think they've done an outstanding job this year. They will be a top 8 side. I just don't think they're a premiership threat, not this year. Panthers, for me, they're always going to be a premiership threat. I don't care if they started the season 6-0 like the bloody Tigers did. Well, I think the Tigers were actually 8-0 or 7-0 because they had the bye. But nonetheless, the Panthers, I think they can start the season off horrendously and then win every game, and they'll be a premiership threat. Like after that, if they won every game, I still think they'll be a premiership threat. All right, Cowboys. Better luck next year, guys. I'm going to rank it like that because, better luck next year. I don't know. I'd like to put the Cowboys here. I just can't. They've got the squad. They've got elite level players. They're just not winning. That's what you need to do, is you need to win, and they're not doing that. So Cowboys for me, better luck next year. Broncos, definitely likely a top 8 side. I think that they're going to push for a top 4 spot, and I do think they'll get it over the Roosters, but I do think the Roosters are a team that could win the premiership outside of that top 4. I really do. I think the competition is that close this year that any one of these 3 teams could push for it if they fell out of the top 4. Well, any one of these 6 teams could, but you know what I'm saying. The Warriors, I'm putting them in likely a top 8 side. I believe in what the Warriors are offering this year. I think they win 90% of their games at Mount Smart. I know they lost to the Roosters last week, but at full strength, when they're firing at home and they've got the support to back them up, they win most of their games at Mount Smart. They really do. So I back the Warriors in to make that top 8. Bulldogs for me, better luck next year. And it sucks because I had the Bulldogs in my top 8, but I can't at the moment because I just can't. I can't put them in my top. I can't have them any higher. I think it's better luck next year for them because they've just had so many injuries. They've started the season off pretty poorly. I don't see them bouncing back for this. I don't see them being a top 8 side. I think better luck next year. Now, the Raiders is a funny one for me. I'm going to put them in could be a top 8 side because they did this last year. They started off poorly last year, like really bad last year, and then they made the top 8. They made the top 8 somehow. So I do think that they could scrape back into that 8, but I do think that all these teams would probably be more likely to make the 8. So, yeah, that is my take on the Raiders there. I think they're definitely a side with potential to make the top 8. But from what we've seen early on in the year, I can't see it happening at the moment. So that is my take there. If I'm going to rank these as the best premiership threat, probably going to go the Panthers at the moment, then my Rabbitohs, and then the Sharks. I think that's the best way to do it there. Outside of that, I'm pretty happy with this. And that, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how I've ranked everyone there, guys. I know you guys are going to disagree with some of these, and that's fine. Let me know why you disagree with them in the comments below. But yeah, guys, that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you give me a like and subscribe, guys. As I stated before, it really helps the growth of the channel. We're aiming to get 5,000 subs by the end of the year. I definitely think we can achieve that. And I think we're at about 4,200 now. So if you guys could help me out, I would really appreciate that. Thank you all so much once again. And as always, my friends, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.